Hello, hello. It's Mark Attwood, Adventures in a Cosmic Suit. How are you all doing? You doing well? I'm doing good. A little bit tired. I didn't get back from Dublin until about 2:30 because after 45 years, I finally saw Johnny Rotten live in Dublin last night, which was amazing. And the first thing he did when he came on stage was do a 5-minute song about protecting children from paedophile priests, which is why he's one of my heroes, apart from the fact that he wrote The Great Rock and Roll Swindle and Never Mind the Bollocks is the Sex Pistols. And of course, God Save the Queen, She Ain't No Human Being, the fascist regime. I mean, and he tried to tell us about Jimmy Savile in 1978 with the BBC Bandit. Now, when I first started this channel, there were a few things that went into my head. Firstly, I felt compelled to do it because I'd had all this knowledge over the last 30 years, and I got told I needed to share that and help people get through this time. But I also realized that if the bad guys were really in control, we'd already be dead. So I felt kind of confident there. But the other thing was, and the most important thing for me, was that I knew as we went through this time that I wanted to know that my children one day, however embarrassed they were at me at the beginning, one day they would look back and realize that I tried to do something. And at the time, I was just getting back on my feet after the breakup of my marriage. And it was a strange old time. But also I didn't know anybody. I just moved to Ireland really, and I didn't know anybody. But over time, I've got to see and meet incredible people because I really thought I was like, "Where's the spirit of the fighting Irish?" There's I didn't know where it was, but then I did things and I went to Dublin on some marches and I started meeting people and I've met some incredibly powerful, beautiful people, and they're all ordinary people, right? So none of them come from uh, business even. Most of them are just ordinary people. And now I just want to share this line here before I introduce my guest. I wrote this poem called Last Stand in Dublin after I had been on the march. It was an amazing march actually in Dublin. I think it was in August 2020, maybe September. But one of the lines in there is this one: "Gather now, new heroes of Ireland old." And then I started seeing people online, and one of the people that really struck a chord with me called himself the Irish Git. And the reason he struck a chord is because he was saying the same thing as me, basically. I don't want my kids to grow up in the future that they want. And so it's my great pleasure to introduce Michael Brazil, also known as the Irish Git. Hello, Michael.
How's things, Mark? Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I don't want to call you Git to your face, but it's a great.
Listen, I've been called a lot of things in my time, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Well, it's wonderful to actually finally chat to you because I've been watching you from afar for quite a while. You know, I came to see you do a live talk at one rally, which was pretty weird actually in Sligo. But we don't need to dwell on those things because there's a lot of dark forces around. I mean, we had a little chat about that, but I'll just tell you that I was down at the market in Carrick one day, and my friends were doing a song through the market, and one of the people that was at the rally in Sligo was there. She's like a crazy infiltrator. I don't know what she is. She's nuts, but she was taking pictures of me.
I know who you're on about. I think, yeah.
Yeah, she was taking pictures of me and putting them on Twitter, calling me a right-wing QAnon conspiracy theorist just because I was live on YouTube at this, showing people dancing and singing. You know,
yeah.
You know, and she was at that rally that day, and she was walking past and taking pictures of me surreptitiously, and I was trying to blend in with the crowd. But that's how crazy it is now, or has been. What's your? Can I go back to when all this started? When did you start realizing something was wrong?
Just before it came here, I was watching things in China unfolding, and I've been awake to certain things going on in the world for, say, the last 7 or 8 years, and at first I was nearly worried about it, thinking, "Ginny, I'm looking at this job coming from China, and no one's talking about it here yet, or the news and that." But But a lot of the videos in China that were coming out of China just didn't feel right to me.
Yeah, this is back when we were being sent videos of people dropping dead in the street and all that stuff. It was very strange, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, very strange. Just dropping out of nowhere, and there was other videos where they didn't cut the camera in time as well, and you could see them. You could see the setup that it was more of a studio thing than anything. They were pushing in hospital beds in an emergency, but then the one I seen they ran in, all these people dressed as nurses ran in, and they were in protective gear with this person in a bed in a big emergency into this room, and then just pushed the bed there and left them and walk out. And I was there, it just looked like a studio setup, the whole lot of it, like.
So at this point, had you just been happily going through life thinking everything was fine, just getting on with your day, or did you realize there was anything greater afoot before that time?
Yeah, well, for a good few years, for a while, I've been said I was taught. It was actually geoengineering that woke me up to everything. I was outside. I had heard friends and people talk about it, and I was there. I put it off, and I was standing outside the door where I was living at the time, and drinking a cup of tea one morning or a cup of coffee, and I was there looking up at the sky, and this plane went past, and the trail came on, and then stayed on for about 30 seconds and went off. And I said, "Oh, that's not physically possible under the same atmospheric conditions." And just struck a chord with me then. I just started looking into it, and oh, I lost my ego. I lost everything. Everything changed when I woke up.
The chemtrails is really funny because I mean I've had arguments with very highly qualified physicist type people who just don't get it. I mean I'm an ex-pilot. I'm an ex-pilot, right? And I know a contrail is condensation and it follows the plane.
Yeah.
But even when I sit there and point out these things and tell the people exactly what it is, it's like they don't hear the words. It's really bizarre.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the way it is, and now that's the same way they are now with all the data that we're giving them on the things going on in the world right now, like, and just they don't want to believe it. And you can show them mainstream articles of them admitting these things. You can show them documents. You can show them anything, and it just it goes over their head.
Well, yeah, I mean that's one of the aspects of this whole time that has been hardest for people like us, because when you see it, you can't unsee it, and then you want to tell everybody because you're concerned for them.
Yeah,
and when they don't want to hear it, it's like, wait, what? It's like telling somebody that there's a guy pointing a gun at your head and is about to stab your children. Oh, that's fine, yeah. What's on telly tonight?
Yeah, it's the equivalent to that, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So you took online. You went onto TikTok first, right? Because your TikTok style videos were the things that grabbed me. And what I loved about them is the immediacy of them, because you just sort of you grab a single thing and then just go, right, look at this, and here's the reason why, and that's the problem. And you got a lot of exposure with that. But I messaged you earlier, so where's your TikTok account? Because I can't find it. He said it's been taken down. I was like, well, of course it has.
Yeah, I had 4 altogether. I had taken down eventually, like, so just I realized I was making videos, say, on geoengineering, on different things and ongoing issues, say the sex education and that for a few years, and putting them on Facebook and different things. And you have the algorithms there which wouldn't put the videos out right anyway, but I was just putting out videos where I was just talking or I was showing these things. And then at the start of this, I realized very quickly that I said the young people in general don't have the capacity now to concentrate for a long time, and they're going through. They're on apps like TikTok and that, and they're going through videos 30 second, next one. They don't have the span to concentrate for any longer than 3 minutes, it seems. So I said, right, well, if I can keep my videos under 3 minutes, keep them factual, and have a bit of humor in them, I might have a chance of getting through to people. And it just worked out that was actually the key to it for myself anyway.
No, absolutely was. And I watched you with jealousy, because I was like, I don't even know how to use TikTok. I've never had it on my phone, but I wasn't jealous. I was like, thank God somebody's out there doing that. And especially in this country, because I'm a blow-in, obviously, But I love this place, and it's a very deeply powerful spiritual place. I've got my grandmother was Irish. I feel very connected to it. But a bit shocking, really, how you know. I remember when I was walking down Grafton Street in this rally, and all the people on the side of the road just looking at us with masks on, shaking their heads at us. Like,
Yeah, I was actually at that one myself as well, and it, I remember seeing people, yeah, and they were videoing and laughing at that, and they're there,
yeah,
like. But look, I get used to that as well. I'm blessed as well. I don't particularly care on a personal level what people think of me, other than
no,
my immediate family. That's it.
yeah,
My partner, and my two children. After that, I don't really mind what anyone thinks of me. I know, I know what I'm doing, and it's morally right in different things, and what I'm trying to achieve or whatever. So I won't lose any sleep over anything being laughed at, thrown names at. And we're branded. Anyone that speaks out now is branded with an ism or an ist or a phobia because you're either a transphobe or anything it is, and it's because that's actually all the left and the establishment. That's all they have because
mm,
the truth, the data, and the facts on all their issues are against them. And
hmm
and even if the left or say opposition like Sinn Féin, so-called opposition, are talking about something on a certain subject, the next thing they talk about on a different subject, they'll contradict what they said on the subject beforehand. And it's actually they do make it very easy for me to point these things out and
yeah.
go through them.
The reason they get away with it is because of what we just said about, firstly, the lack of attention span, and secondly, I was speaking to a friend the other day who's sort of cosmically connected, and she said there's a kind of grid of amnesia, which pulls people. It just makes them forget, even if you tell them something or they can't hear it. It's a very very strange thing. And I don't know what conclusions you've come to about that, but I think it's, well, firstly, I think this is a spiritual war, a
Oh,
global
absolutely,
spiritual war. Yeah.
definitely,
It's
absolutely.
good versus, if people argue with me about politics, I'm not interested in politics. This is good versus evil.
Yeah.
I try not to get caught in the left-right thing either, because there's nothing to do with that.
Well, that's it too. Now it's hard to as well when clearly we can see that divide. Like, and I prefer. I know I'm guilty of it as well, because I do say, in a lot of videos I'd call out the left or the far left because, well, I suppose that's the evident. Yeah, and I'm probably wrong to do that as well because there should be no left or right. There should be no divide in anything, like. But the
I
left
think it's
and
because,
politics in general has failed us, like, and
well, 100%. I mean, is there a single person in the Doyle that is representing anybody in this country?
no. No, and just for example, I thought my local TD there, she had been kicked out with Sinn Féin there for voting against the party in the abortion referendum. But I sent her the data from the CSO and said, look, and went through things, and so she just blocked my number, blocked my accounts. And you're there, just I thought you might have been a small, slim chance that you might have been one of the good ones, but none of them. It's the same with all the councillors, any elected representative around the country. And I
Yeah.
suppose in most countries now in 2022, they're working for the globalists, and that's it.
What's your opinion on how they've managed to do that? Because I've been coming here for 25 years, and do you remember the referendum in Ireland where they got a no, and then a year later they got a yes?
The Lisbon Treaty, yeah.
That was the big. And when that happened, I was like, "That's it. Ireland's just giving away its sovereignty. That's it." I mean, yeah, Bertie Ahern was corrupt and would take brown envelopes and stuff, but he was nothing on these guys.
No, but I'd say true. See, you have the World Economic Forum there, and globalists like Klaus Schwab saying, "No, we have." They're saying out on video, two people, we've infiltrated all governments around the world. We're this, that, and the media and all, and people still won't believe you if you say it. But they've done that successfully, and I believe they've done it successfully because there was so much corruption and was a data trail or trails left of crimes committed by all these politicians through the years, whether that be bribes or whatever the crime may be, and they just have that on them, and
Mm.
They have nowhere to go now. They have to do as they're told, or good luck to you.
Problem is,
That's
they don't realize that their eternal soul is damned, and if they don't start doing the right thing soon.
Yeah, well, look, that's it. But they're not going to. None of them are going to do the right thing soon, and they're going to have to continue this to the very end now.
Well, if any of them are watching, I'd say that we still have the capacity for forgiveness, because whatever you've done wrong, bad guys, you can be forgiven. And we need you to start standing up and doing the right thing, because this is the destruction of the human race is at stake. And what cracks me up about these guys is they don't realize that the people in charge of all of this will turn on them when it's all done, if it went down that road anyway. Which
No,
has been,
oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I mean, that's been proven throughout history.
And I'd say already there's internal in the globalists and the elites. I'd say there's internal battles in there that we know nothing about as well at the minute for power, and they're all psychopaths at the end of the day as well. I believe.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Thomas Sheridan's work down in Sligo?
Yeah, I do. I don't watch enough, I suppose, of I don't really watch enough of anybody, to be honest.
Well, no, look, there's no time. Well, look, when you're a full-time dad and you're doing stuff like, I know there's no time, but I only bring up his work because I saw him speak in Manchester about 10 years ago about the rise of the psychopath, and he did write a really good book on this, and he was well ahead of the curve in terms of identifying this problem, because there's more psychopaths running businesses and in politics than ever before. A long time ago, and and it's just now what I like about this time is they are actually being exposed. People like you are seeing what they're doing, and they're telling people, and you're talking from the heart and reaching people with humor and with snappy, irrefutable evidence, and they just make every one of your videos is a really important document of this time, I think.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, probably, and that's just because there's no one that should be in academia or anything documenting anything that's going on, truthfully anyway, and with the actual data, trust in the actual science, should we say?
Yeah.
Trust the science. That aggravates me. It aggravated me from day one. That the expression like this. That's the most anti-science thing ever said. Trust the science.
Yeah, it's like it's a dogmatic religious thing to say. It's not scientific.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And now we want them to trust the science because the actual data is there, and you can nitpick it all you want. It's there in front of you. It's not changing. It's not going away.
I'm just going to because you banned on TikTok, but you are on Telegram, so I'm going to just find your Telegram and share it so people can see it.
Yeah, I don't last too long on things now, to be honest, if I set up an account.
No, I know the feeling.
Yeah.
I decided to stay on YouTube because, let me just see if this is, no, that's not the right one. Hang on, Irish Git. So you just go to Telegram and type in Irish Git, and there's Michael. There you go. And these videos are brilliant. And anybody watching this in Ireland who knows what's going on and you haven't seen Michael, please go onto Telegram and share these videos around, because they're fantastic little snippets, and they're great to send to kids as well, as Michael said, because this is in a format that kids will actually watch. They won't sit and watch me for an hour, but they will watch this.
I try and I just try. Yeah, that's it. I try to get through to them. I just thought the younger people were more important. Not more important, but it was really important that we got through to them somehow. There's been a surprising amount of people younger than myself that have come up to me locally and around and said, "Just you didn't take that, sure you didn't." And I go, "No," they're just reassuring, and then they go, "Yeah, no, I looked at a few of your videos and I didn't bother as well, like, you know."
Well, it's one of the things that's heartened me. I mean, if I send my daughter a link and she looks at it, the first thing she looks at is the length. She goes, "That's 15 minutes. That's too long." And I'm like, "Oh, fucking hell." But it's one of the reasons why I've written poems about this stuff, and I've written about 30 poems over the period, sort of narrating this time. And
I've seen and heard one or two of them. So I have, yeah.
Yeah, what's been amazing is the feedback I've had off the kids locally is like, well, Mark knows what's going on, and then and I get feedback going that the kids like my poems. In fact, my 12-year-old's got a kid in his class who keeps wanting to come onto the podcast, and I'm like, "Are your parents awake?" And he's like, "No." I said, "I don't think it's a good idea then."
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But that is really good, because there are kids that are, you know, and we need them to know what's going on, because this war's going to take a long time.
That's it, yeah. And I always try and encourage as many people. I know there's so many people that can't speak out. I'm in a situation where I could speak out. I didn't want to stay quiet for my children. I wouldn't be able to, me personally, on a personal level, in the future, I wouldn't be able to look them in the face if I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to stop either till their future is secured, or like that's the way I am. I'm not going to. What was I? Sorry, I lost track there now.
That's right. I'll come back to you.
Yeah, I lost track there now. What was that? Sorry.
No, I feel exactly the same. I'm never going to stop.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, but I was just I always try and encourage anyone that can at all put out videos or speak out, or you don't have to put your face or your identity, nothing. I know that can it seems I have my face in them, so it's more it's on a personal level to people as well, so it resonates a bit more. But anything you can do, the more people we have speaking out now, the quicker this is going to be ended. And
yeah, I've been saying the same thing, and you know, these, although this platform and TikTok, etc., they're all controlled by the same people. We can use that against them.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
I think the only problem is when there are places like Telegram, for example, is currently seems like it's not censored, right? Although there's signs that that may be happening, and then so then everybody moves. So it's a war of attrition. So you go and get 20,000 followers on, or I don't know, what did you get up to on TikTok? I mean, it was a lot of people.
It was the first one was 17 or 18,000, and the second one then was around 20,000 very quickly, and then the others were gone after a few videos.
Yeah, so you know, it's very it just shows them up, right? So, but the problem is that then you lose that reach, and then people forget about you, and that's what they count on, is that, you know, I had a YouTube channel, got up to 30,000 very quickly, and then it just got taken down. And I was like, shit. So I have to put stuff up on BitChute and Rumble and Telegram, and then but people are still on YouTube, and they're still on TikTok. That's where everybody is.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah, that's where the majority of people are. Yeah.
Yeah,
and the majority of people that we're trying to get through to.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, you're just preaching to the converted.
Yeah, and that's the reason now. Yeah, that's why I keep them under 3 minutes as well, because people can take my videos off Telegram very easily and then share them to their own platforms, and that's what happens. Thankfully, so they go on most social medias if they're under 3 minutes.
Yeah,
there's some like Twitter that they won't, and if they're over 2 minutes 20 or something. But look, Twitter is a leftist echo chamber. I go on it to have fun, and that's what I do, and just I troll people on Twitter. I suppose maybe I shouldn't be, but
listen, everything you're doing is great, and I know you're never going to stop. But what do you see positive changes happening in the last 2 years?
Not really, but I see positives coming out of it. I see a lot more people awake to what's going on, and the more and more people that wake up, the more and more people that are going to be woken up. And I see it spiraling out of control for the globalists soon. But yeah, I personally think, I don't know whether they played their hand too soon, or they didn't get enough people on board, or whatever it was. But it's backfiring on them now, and they don't seem that they're going to stop now. They're backpedaling on certain things, like Bill Gates. There's a video of Bill Gates, a new one there. I don't know if a few of you have probably seen it. He's said now what a lot of us have been saying for 2 years, and a lot of us have been getting banned off these platforms for saying for the last 2 years, and he's coming out and saying now, and that's a quote from Bill Gates saying it wasn't the virus wasn't as bad fatality-wise as we thought, and it was more like the flu. That's a Bill Gates quote from the other day.
That kind of thing. You see, I happen to believe that him and his wife were hung by Indian farmers in 2013 because they were committing genocide in India and Africa through the Bill Gates Foundation, and that there are a lot of the people that we've been watching on the TV, even though I don't watch the TV, but the mainstream media, a lot of these people are not the original versions, and that they're all being controlled. Do you go down that road?
I do. I go down every road just to double check, that's why I see on my videos. I try not to give my opinions and my beliefs too. I just try and stay to what I can prove. But I wouldn't be surprised if anything at this moment in time. It's just it's crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, do you feel optimistic?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it'll be a long road. I do. Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's. I think it's important to be as well, and important to be positive. People say, "Oh, I'm giving up and I'm doing this and that." No, don't. Don't. It's just, and a lot of people say there's no hope. There is. There's lots of hope. There's lots of hope. They want you to believe there's no hope.
Well, we're still here.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah,
there's the first thing.
That's it.
And I think from a spiritual perspective, and I don't mean religious, but a spiritual perspective, we're kind of the universe is kind of waiting for enough people to actually go, right, fuck this. How do we fix this, and what do we do? And I'm just thinking, because their whole world is a fiction. Everything on the news is fiction.
Oh, absolutely.
Everything we learned in school is fiction. It's all fiction.
Yeah.
And when we realize it's all a fiction and stop being afraid of parking fines, speeding tickets, TV licenses, taxes, it's all fictional.
Yeah.
And then I think we're, for want of a better word, God's just waiting for enough people to stand up and say no. And when that happens, then the world can shift enormously, because then consciousness shifts.
Yeah, that's it. And it's like, and that can even be shown an example with the true herd mentality as well, as we call it, with everything that's gone on. And now you're starting to see people, and the majority is changing the views of say the last 2 years, and then the people that were really pushing it and that are gone totally silent because they have nothing to say on the issue now because they can't. But then that makes more and more people turn and say, "Oh, wait now," as well. So, in the same sense, if you get me,
I do.
I'm personally, look, I'm not a religious person, but I probably would I have counted myself as atheist up until I woke up? Maybe not. But I was baptized when I was born and different things as you are in Ireland. But now I'm not religious, but in a spiritual sense, I believe there's a bigger power or a bigger or a creator or something. I can't explain it. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure it all out myself.
Well, that happened to me. I was an atheist for 20 odd years, and then all these weird things started happening to me like 10 years ago, and I started going, what was that? What was this? What was that? And I'm in the UFO capital of Ireland, and I see them a lot. Right?
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I've had experiences with spaceships here and all sorts of stuff, and demons and I can't ignore them. I mean, I'm not religious at all. In fact, I hate religion. Religion was created by these fuckers to corral us.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and that's just way. And now, at the same time, I'll respect everyone's religion.
Yeah.
But and then at the same time, I think that all religions and ideologies, especially the radical side of them, deserve to be and need to be scrutinized. And
at least,
that's at the very least, yeah. So
but trying to get everybody on the same page is. I just want people to question things. I don't know why. I mean, I kind of do, but why would you not read the ingredients of something before you inject it in you?
I don't understand that.
Simple. And
Like
why? Why? Even worse, they put it in their children.
Yeah. And you see people when you're doing your shopping looking at the ingredients food and you're like, triple chat, man. Eat it. Or I should do that. I shouldn't say the word, but no, it's
How
just
did you? Sorry. How did you? How old? How old? Do you mind if I ask? You don't have to tell me how old your kids are, but I've got two that are in the younger school. And last year they brought this mandate in for these, so I took them out of school for 3 months. I let them go back because it was a battle I didn't want to have to fight with my ex-wife, but I let those teachers know exactly what I thought of them. I said, this is child abuse. You are committing child abuse, and this will not be forgotten.
Yeah.
And just following orders is not a good enough reason. And they wouldn't even respond to me.
Yeah, of course they wouldn't. No, that's and now there's actually all the studies are available now, especially and anyone with half a brain, see if you put a mask on a child or on an adult, your lungs are an excretory organ. You're meant to be getting rid of what you're breathing out, not inhaling it back in. Like that's going to affect you. And there's studies there now showing how it affected children.
It's the same with the hand washing. Same with the washing. I still see people doing it because the posters haven't gone. Even at the gig I was at last night in Dublin, there's still as we were leaving the gig, there's a massive yellow and black poster saying maintain social distancing. I was like, I've just been in a room with 5,000 people next to each other. I mean, it's almost comedy.
Yeah, it is at this stage. They can't let go now. A lot of people, they can't let go.
I was pleased though in Dublin. I only saw 5 people yesterday with that on.
Oh yeah, okay. Now, Jenny, down here in the Midlands, it's a lot more than that now.
Is it?
Daily, I could look out my window and within 10 minutes, I'll see a person on their own in the car driving by in a mask still.
Well, do you know what was as soon as monkeypox was released in the news, suddenly there were more things going on. I was like, amazing! It's amazing. They just push this little button and it has this ripple effect throughout the planet. More people are suddenly wearing.
I don't know if you've seen I seen not an article, a segment there off BBC News from the last day or two. They interviewed the first lad in England that got monkeypox, and would you believe it? He had no rash, which is the main symptom of it. He had flu-like symptoms.
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, so like, after I actually had a good laugh when I seen that now this morning. Someone sent it on to me. I had a good laugh at that. I wasn't surprised at all.
Well, no, it was like the first guy in England to get this was called William Shakespeare.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
you were saying. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, it's not gone.
No, you were saying. Yeah, I was going to say my children. Yeah, my son is 5 in just over a week, and my daughter is 3, and they won't be going to the indoctrination camps at all.
Good on you. I mean, I homeschooled mine for 4 years before I moved to Ireland, and as soon as I got here, the academic level of my kids went reversed drastically.
Yeah.
But the biggest problem I've had is my eldest left early, right, and he's now following his dream and having the best life possible, right, and he's 17. But and I told him the hires are just a waste of fucking time. It's all bullshit. Get out.
Yeah.
You don't need those pieces of paper. But with the younger ones, it's because of their friendships that they formed, and it was so hard during lockdown and stuff, seeing all the kids isolated anyway.
Yeah.
That it was, for me, it was a balance, because they know what's going on, they understand, but they just keep it to themselves and just they basically see it as a social function. And I thought that was more important because I've tried to pull parents together around here for setting up new systems, but none of them are quite where I'm at with it. So it's been really, really difficult because you need more people to do it. And there are good schools around. There's one in Sligo that's very good, but it would involve 4 hours driving a day for me, and I just can't do it.
Yeah, well, that's not possible. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because I've got 5 kids, it's just not possible.
Yeah. Look, I'm just lucky that I have my partner's on the same page as me.
That's
and
great.
it won't be me teaching them. I'd struggle with that. It'll be all her. I'll help out where I can or whatever, but it'll be all her.
And have you found other people around you that can
Yeah,
assist?
she has. Yeah, she has. She's found homeschooling communities around, and there's actually more than you could imagine. Like even locally, like so. And there's some that you'd have to travel to Portlaoise for social things with other um people that homeschool and the children. But that's look, we're going to do that because it's going to be beneficial for the children in the long run.
That's great. I commend you for that and your partner. That is brilliant. And everybody, if anybody's watching this that's involved in that, or if anybody's watching this who's in anywhere in the world who's in a similar position, then Michael's proven where there's a will, there's a way. And this is what we have to do. We have to start
And
creating.
people might be surprised to hear that I won't say fighting, but I was given the argument of them going to school and undoing anything that was done that shouldn't be done or taught to them, just so they'd have the social aspect and everything. But she done a good job convincing me.
Yeah. Well, that's good
You
to hear.
know, even though I knew it was the right thing anyway, but I was humming and hawing and saying it'd be too much on her, it'd be too much on us, it'd be better for the social aspect if they were in school, this, that, the other. My son, he was doing great when he was young, and then he got one of the usual ones, and he still can't talk properly, like, and he's 5, in just over a week. But sure, the HSE were giving him speech therapy there, and your one was behind a screen with a mask on, teaching my son how to pronounce letters. So I just said, yeah, look, that's great, but you're actually clueless. You're teaching me son he can't pronounce his S's or his F's and certain letters, and you're trying to do it with a mask on. That is all about visuals. I said, even I know that. I know nothing about speech therapy, but I know he has to be looking and see what's going on. Yeah, behind the screen and a mask on. Unbelievable.
That's called common sense, and a lot of people just haven't got any.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a lot of people
part of it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of, I'd say a lack of common sense is a lot of it though. People are stuck in their material world, really. I can balance the two, it seems very well, so I'm lucky that way too. But yeah, people are more concerned about what they have, what they can get, and then you have people that are trapped in the system that don't want to be. They have mortgages and jobs, and if they put a foot wrong, your job's gone and you can't pay your mortgage. And
well, that's the the financial system is the number one tool of our enslavement.
Yeah.
And debt is genius way of. I mean, the word mortgage means death grip.
Yeah, some people. Yeah, I actually found that out recently as well. Yeah,
it's all fraudulent, all of it. There's a great book. I don't know if you like reading, but the G. Edward Griffin book I give out to my subscribers called the Creature from Jekyll Island, which tells the whole story of how the Federal Reserve was created in 1913 and what the fractional reserve banking system is. But in essence, it just explains the fraud, because all mortgage is fraud, and all the whole birth certificate, everything is fraud.
Oh yeah, everything. Yeah, I've been looking into it bits and pieces myself. So, like say the sovereign side and the common law side, and just looking in and just seeing, like, I know that there's a lot of people getting into it, but there is people being led down the wrong paths on it too. So we have to try and counter that as well, because they're being led down the wrong paths on purpose to get them caught out in the end, like,
But let's talk about Ireland for a bit, because I think one thing we've got in common is that we've reluctantly, because of what we've done, become well known in places in Ireland. But the good thing about that is that it's meant for me personally, I've met lots of amazing people doing a lot of amazing work, and you have too, I assume. Well, I know you have, because I saw you meeting some not so long ago.
Yeah.
So, there's a few notable people like Jerry, who set up. He set up a Mandate-Free Ireland Facebook page, and then ran this. I got this picture from Moher in what's the name of the place? Dolan, because he ran a Freedom Arts Festival there in February, March time, and there were 200 people there, and they're all awake, and they're all from all over Ireland, and it's like, this is amazing, all awake at different levels of awakeness.
Yeah.
But all knowing that something's wrong, and who do you see emerging? Because it's a very fragmented kind of situation we're in, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's very, very fragmented. Yeah, to say the least. Emerging in what way, Mark?
Consistently telling the truth and starting to get some traction with people like Dolores Cahill, for example. She's been very strong
Yeah,
throughout all of this from what I've seen. And you know, there's a really good YouTuber who trying to remember. He's got red hair and a red beard. I can't remember his bloody name now. And there's Ashley.
Dave Cullen.
Yeah, Dave Cullen. Ashley O'Loughlin. She's been amazing.
Yeah,
People who've got a bit of profile have turned against it, and of course Jim Core.
Jim Core, and do you know who as well? Eddie Hobbs. I have time for now. Eddie Hobbs.
I've not heard of Eddie Hobbs.
Eddie Hobbs. I remember growing up watching him on television. He used to do the financial programs on.
Oh, really?
On RTE, and he came out against it at the start, and they got rid of him, and shunned him as a conspiracy theorist. And
Brilliant.
he's got some pretty good freedom of information requests that people should look onto his Twitter account in the last few weeks there.
And the guys at the Irish Inquiry, they're doing a great job.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. There's just so many, and there's so good things popping up there. I'm doing a bit of work or contributing to the We the People.ie there.
Oh yeah, yeah. I saw that on your Telegram this morning.
So just
We the People.ie. Anybody in Ireland watching We the People.ie?
Yeah, there's some good people there, and there's writing good articles and getting podcasts up. Just trying to. There's a free speech podcast there, Points there, just to try and get talking. And I'm forever inviting the people that hate me on to just have a chat. Have a chat. None of them will obviously take it up. I wish they would, because
of course not.
But I stay offering anyway, because someday maybe someone will.
Yeah, well, they're great at throwing stones from afar, but you actually talk to them, and truth just makes them trip up on themselves, because you can't argue. You can't argue. And that's what's so important about what you're doing, is facts and figures based.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. And it's so look, everything's available there, and I wouldn't be able to do what I am doing without other people too. I could be somewhere and see something that someone found, and I just go into it in a bit more detail, but I wouldn't have known about it unless that person shared it. So there's a chain of a lot of different people before I even do anything, so it's down to everyone, and everyone sharing me videos, following, I'm not after likes or clout, but the more people that see it, the more people that it might not wake them up straight away, but it might sit in their mind, at the back of their subconscious mind, and just trigger someday. Then that seed was just left in there. And
well, if I was in charge of the education system, I'd have the kids watching your TikTok feed from the last 2 years for an hour a day. Watch this. Well, that's never going to happen. Not into this system.
No.
So we're feeling optimistic. There's a lot of good things going on, and good things are coming out of this. Anything coming up? The people, are you doing any more live talks? Are there any other channels you're on apart from Telegram?
There's public meetings started there with We the People, and they started in the hope that people would take their own initiative and set them up, and they did start doing that. But then venues started cancelling that, and now all the parties are doing their own public meetings, but they're just Delphi meetings where it seems that the public have a say, but they don't. And anyone that has an opinion or a question against them is just shut down. So I called one there in Bor now for the 18th in the square in Bor. No venue can be cancelled, and then just a public meeting just to inform the public on the housing referendum and the so-called right to housing bill, the 39th Amendment to the Constitution, and the proposed turf ban that hasn't gone away and isn't going to go. And the turf is very important here rurally as well.
Absolutely.
It's been the biggest part of our economy for 100 years.
Yeah, no, they're trying to destroy everything.
Yeah. And there's a free speech assembly in Galway as well in July. So I'll more than likely, anything with free speech is good. So I'll more than likely
Well,
up there too.
If there's now we've
Well,
connected, now we've connected, if I can help promote any of this stuff, you just send it to me and I'll get it out on all my channels and stuff like that, because this is collaboration is the name of the game, I think.
oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely, it is. Yeah, that's for sure. And it's million and the same as that as well.
Yeah,
And I hope people, because I get messages from people, oh, I'd vote for you and you'd be a great politician. I have no aspirations to get into politics. That's the last thing I want. I'll stay doing what I'm doing, all right, because I'm rocking the boat on that. But that's not what I'm after. Politics, no.
no,
I
but we do
and
need leaders, and you have become one, whether accidentally or whether you wanted to or not, and you're brilliant,
yeah,
and you are precisely what this country needs.
yeah, and that's mad for people. And you say that there now, and other people have said it to me, and that's mad to me, like, because
I know it's mad, but that's
that,
precisely what we need, because it's the complete
yeah,
opposite of everything we've had for centuries.
maybe so. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Truth
Like
and honesty and humility.
yeah, I'd love if no one knew me face at all. So I
Well,
would,
same here.
and I was down the bank of the river fishing or whatever. But sure, look, it had to happen, so it happened.
Well, I believe in destiny, and I think everything's exactly as meant to be. And I do also believe that there's a divine plan going on here. And reluctant soldier or not, you're doing a fantastic job, and I really appreciate you. And I'm sure the people of Ireland one day, all of them will appreciate what you've done. And may there be many more Irish gits. I want to see American gits, Australian gits. we need you everywhere.
Yeah.
Sorry, a bit of snot there, because Johnny Rotten had a cold and he was snotting into the audience. So I think I picked it up, but it's not monkeypox.
Sure.
Well, I really appreciate your time, Michael. I'm going to go because I've got to shoot off. But
that's perfect, man. Thanks for having me, and I'm sure we'll chat again anyway. Hopefully.
I'd love to. Anything I can do to help what you're doing, I will. And
vice versa as well. It's important that we all.
It is.
Yeah,
it's really important.
Yeah, spread as far as we can. Yeah.
Yeah, and lots of love to your family, and I hope to meet you in person one day soon.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a million, Mark.
Cheers. Take care.
Take care. Bye.